We're pressure canning green beans, but today we're gonna hot pack them. I showed you how to cold pack them last time. Today I'm gonna show you how to hot pack them. Start off by getting some water boiling. I have a huge pot going so it can hold all 7 quarts of my green beans. I've cleaned my green beans, snapped off the tips, and I broke them. So they're all in perfectly bite-sized pieces and they've been washed. So now as soon as this water starts boiling, we're gonna drop it in. In the meantime, I boiled my lids. I know it's not necessary to boil your lids anymore, but my mom and my grandma taught me to do that, so I'm gonna keep doing it. I've got my pressure canner out and ready. I have canning salt, and I've dishwashed my jars, so they're all clean. And they're hot. So when you're hot packing, instead of putting cold water, cold beans, cold water in your canner, we're gonna do it everything hot. So you want your jars hot. That way it washes them, and then the jars are hot when I take them out of the dishwasher and they're ready to get packed. My water's boiling. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna drop in all the green beans. And notice the color, they're light right now. And we're gonna watch for them to turn a bright green. See how that color is changing? That versus that. So once they all turn that bright green color, we can start packing our jars. Grab your jar funnel. If you don't have one, you should get one. It makes it way easier. A metal one would be nice. I only have plastic. And then I put a butter knife in it. That's gonna help debubble it, and it also just helps stabilize the temperature. My jars are hot from the dishwasher. And now we're just gonna fill the jars with the hot beans.
And do you recall Lindsay picking them up that afternoon?
Yeah.
When Lindsay returned home with Cora and Dawson, did she
I just kind of shake as I do it
was having some stomach issues?
so that they'll go down.
And were you familiar with the stomach issues that Cora had been having?
So we want to get as many green beans as possible in each jar.
You have
And then I take my knife
stomach issues.
and I kind of
Yeah, it wasn't unusual.
press them down a little, and if you can add more, add a few more.
That's cool. So she just held it all day.
And so this was a common occurrence.
Yeah.
And were you aware that Cora had her 5-year physical scheduled for the next day, Tuesday the 24th?
No, I didn't know that was already scheduled. I thought she called it in.
We're gonna do that to all the jars.
Okay. So would it have been?
Once you have your jars filled as full as you can get them with green beans, you're gonna take the water that you were boiling the green beans in. Make sure you still have your butter knife in there. And fill your jars, leaving 1-inch headspace. I just go to that bottom ring. And then move your knife around a little bit just to make sure you get all the air bubbles out. And I just put my knife in the next one, move my funnel over, and keep going. Fill all your jars. Now I'm adding 1 teaspoon of canning salt to each of these jars. This is usually my first step, but it doesn't matter when you add it. It just needs a teaspoon of salt. But normally I do put my salt in my jar before I start filling them with the green beans.
Once or twice. It was a busier day than usual.
And that's just so I don't forget it. All my salt in my jars, now we're gonna wipe the rims. You can wipe your rims with vinegar or water. I use vinegar just because we have really hard water.
Or anything that caused concern?
No, she's having one of her best days.
What are her best days? I want to direct your attention.
And I also do want to point out, before I started this, I did feel all my rims. You want to make sure there's no cracks or any imperfections in the top of the jars. Otherwise, they won't seal properly.
Otherwise, if you want to get takeout, I haven't planned anything.
And now you just put on your
Any chance you want to do
lids, and I always use new lids. I don't reuse mine. If you do, just follow your process for that.
restaurant previously,
Yeah,
alone or with the family?
with the family.
And approximately how many times have you been there to eat?
Probably 3 times.
And so you would all gotten in the car and driven from your home
And add rings fingertip tight. You don't want to over tighten these.
Yeah, sometimes we are already out.
Okay, up in there for time. Have you ever done takeout from there before? Where do you typically do takeout, when you guys do takeout at home?
Just that grill. Thinking I already used less.
I'm adding 2 quarts of water to my canner. And since I'm hot packing, I'm putting in hot water. Turning my heat on and adding my jars. My canner holds 7 quarts or 9 pints, and it's just a Presto canner from Walmart. It's nothing fancy. It doesn't have a pressure gauge or anything. You just put your pressure weight on the top and you can it. So now that my jars are in and I have the water in and the separator is underneath, you're gonna put your lid on and close it. I'm adding 10 pounds of weight. Make sure you refer to your canning guidelines if you have a different altitude or anything than I do. And now all we're gonna do is wait for the little button on top to pop up. It's jiggling. We're gonna turn our heat down slowly so we can try to slow the jiggle down. We're gonna set our timer for 25 minutes. And if you're doing pints, you set your timer for 20 minutes. Timer just went off, so we're gonna turn the heat off and we're gonna wait for the button to go down. Then we'll know it's safe to open the lid. Put it down so we know it's safe to open it. When you're opening it, you always wanna open it away from your face because steam is going to escape. I just set that aside and then use my jar gripper and take my jars out and sit it on a towel. And one thing I forgot to do was add vinegar to my water, which will just help prevent my hard water from making my jars cloudy. These are already sealing, so that's a good sign. And that's literally all there is to canning green beans. So you can choose to hot pack or cold pack. I think you get more beans in the hot packing method. It's my favorite way to do it. But cold packing is a little bit easier. It skips that step. And now we'll just let this rest on the kitchen towel for 24 hours. I'll check, make sure everything's sealed well, and then we can put it away.